Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for being here this morning.
Let's go, let's go. Oh, let's start this show. King Roman News gonna come right through. Gonna give you that news just like you know he can do. Hot topics in your face, baby. King Roman knows his place, baby. King Roman News.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
6:30 a.m. Eastern time, baby. He's gonna come right on time with the news just for you. Celebrity news, politics, and local news just for you. King Roman News. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Let's go, let's go. Hey, let's start this show. King Roman News, coming just for you. King Roman News, coming just for you. 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. King Roman News, King Roman News. Let's go. Let's start this show. Let's go, let's go. Let's start this show.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, crew. Shout out to the crew. Good morning. Thank y'all for being here. It is a Wednesday, December 21st. Happy birthday to my sis, Nicole. Shout out to you. Happy birthday to you. It's your birthday. I know 12/21. We used to always wait for this day to come around. Shout out to you. Happy birthday, sweetheart. And happy birthday to anybody who is celebrating their birthday this time of year. I know it's crazy with Christmas being around too. But shout out to the crew. Thank y'all for being here for another show. Today we are talking local news, okay? All things local news. So no hot topics today, but I'm still watching. Got my ears to the ground, eyes to the streets. Don't forget we're doing the word of the week, and I'll be using that word often during today's show. We're going to be covering a lot of different things, but so stay tuned. Shout out to my members, shout out to the moderators, shout out to everybody who fucked with me over here. Today is going to be a very much so learning curve for all of us. I mean, we're going to talk about the reparations, and I'm going to do a very brief, but very interesting. Okay, very interesting synopsis of what's going on and where we are with reparations in America. So please stay tuned. If you have not hit that like button, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you are not a subscriber of the channel, go ahead and become a subscriber of the channel. All subscriptions, all likes matter, okay? And if you want to show me some love anytime, feel free to do so. Cash App, $Roman L. Jackson. Everything goes back to the channel, supports me, supports what I'm doing here, gets me a meal, some coffee, all of those great things. So let's get into it. You sit back. If you're in the bed, you ain't got to even cock your head up. Just put a phone close, and let's get into today's show. Good morning, crew. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Whoa, you are really up today, huh? You a little up today. You up. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Some good ass tea. That tea is just amazing. Shout out to you all. Good morning. What is going on? Thank y'all for being here. And shout out to y'all for yesterday's show. I know it was a little something different, especially for those who come for the content, the news, and different topics. But there's a lot of times where I just want to engage and have a conversation with the chat and my subscribers, people who fuck with me, and a lot of people who were on yesterday's panel. you'll notice they're subscribers. You see them often in the channel, on the channel, engaging, and that's what I like to do with you all, with us, people who fuck with us. I'm not trying to be nothing that I'm not. So thank you, and I appreciate them for coming through. And listen, whenever I drop the link and say come through, y'all feel comfortable to come through. I hope you see that it's not, it's not a bad thing. It's not, you don't have to be nervous. It's so relaxed. And you come up here and talk, you just want to say hi, you can always say hi. So I'll be doing that more often. And feel free, subscribers, members, moderators, if you fuck with me, the channel, anything like that, feel free to hit the link. What up, Roman? I'm just coming by to say hi. What up? And I was so pleased and impressed by everybody yesterday coming through, whether they disagreed or agreed. So shout out to you all. Thank you. And be looking forward to that. Now let's get into today's show. Who is here this morning? Good morning, Tanya McNeil, and thank you for being first. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Jay Parrish. Good morning, and I hope you have a fantastic day on purpose. Kings Mina, good morning. Hey, Alfreda, good morning to you, boo. Good morning. Good morning, Brick Girl member. Good morning, Oxy 805 Queen. Good morning, boo. Kind of down today. My youngest son is in the hospital in a coma with pneumonia on both lungs. Keep me in your prayers. I will absolutely keep you in my prayers. And yes, everybody keep Ox City 805 Queen in your prayers. That's it's difficult to hear, especially around this time of year. Sorry that you're going through that. I'm so sorry that you're going through that. King's Mina, it's too early and my eyes are bad trying to figure out what the fuck. Brick girl. It's good to see y'all. Good morning, Chantel Packer. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right, y'all. Good morning. So as you can see from the title, we're going to be covering a lot of different things today. First thing I want to get into, and I don't want to waste any time because I want to break it down in a nice way. The reparations. So it's in the news, reparations. All these cities are proposing these different ideas on how Black Americans or people who were descendants of slaves during a specific time period should be receive some monetary or some form of payment. Now, it's interesting because what I'm finding is that as these states and cities try this stuff, what do you all think happens? Two things. One, it's not enough money. They don't have enough money to pay Black people, even in their own state. And two, it always ends up failing. It always ends up failing. And so we're going to explore it because I want to tell you why I feel like Boston is our most progressive at this point. Yes, looking past California. Yes, looking past what Evanston did, becoming the first city to enact this. And here we are 2 years later, and it's a failed fucking policy. The Blacks in Evanston hate it, and we'll talk about it. So I want to break this down to you all. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but I want to give you the nugget so you know exactly what's going on here. So I posted this on my community wall. And I wanted you all to just look. I don't want to go over this. I'm not a historian. I'm not in world history. But I posted this so you can see that we always have this connotation that when you hear the word reparations, we think of free money, Black people. I know when I think of reparations, we about to get a check. Well, reparations comes in so many forms, and we have to be a little bit smarter than to only think that reparations will only come in the form of a cash payment. They say it's upwards of $11 trillion to fund a successful reparation program for America. Do America have it? I'm sure they have $1 trillion they can print up and make. I'm sure there's a way, but it's not conducive. It's not possible. So look at these different ways. Explore this real quick with me. 1830 Indian Removal Act, when they removed the Indians, now today what we see is the Indian on their land, they have land back. They also receive monetary gains, especially tax deductions around those casino reservations. So there's a lot of different things. Speeding up through that, you have the Federal Housing Administration, you have Jim Crow laws, you have the Wagner Act. So you have all of these different acts. I want to show you all this really, really quickly because we're in a period where we're noticing the same thing that has happened in the past U.S. history. It's just coming back around. So take a look at this really, really quickly. And shout out to the crew. If you're just getting in here, we're talking about reparations. I'm going over it really, really quickly. If you can, please hit that like button.
After World War II, the U.S. Congress created the Indian Claims Commission to pay compensation to any federally recognized tribe for land that had been seized by the U.S. government. The commission awarded nearly $1.3 billion, less than $1,000 for each Native American, but the government also prevented them from controlling the funds, arguing they were, quote, not competent to receive such large amounts of money. In two separate instances, the U.S. Congress compensated Japanese Americans forcibly taken from their homes during World War II and sent to internment camps. First, in 1948, when the Japanese American Evacuation Claims Act offered $37 million to 26,000 claimants for personal and property loss. The second time in 1988, when Congress issued an apology and offered to pay $1.6 billion to 82,219 survivors of interned Americans of Japanese ancestry. In 2015, the city of Chicago agreed to pay $5.5 million in reparations to 57 people, nearly all African American men, who accused the police of beating and psychologically torturing them. These cases took place between 1972 and 1991. The Chicago Police Department had been accused of torturing more than 200 innocent men during that period in order to force confession. In 2013, North Carolina became the first state in the U.S. to enact legislation to compensate survivors of a decades-long eugenics program where 7,600 people were sterilized. The victims were largely poor, disabled, or African American. State lawmakers set up a $10 million fund to compensate them. In 1994, Florida became the first U.S. state to pass a reparations law to address decades-old racist violence that state officials failed to stop. The law set aside $2 million for survivors of a 1923 massacre when a white mob that included KKK members swarmed into the largely black hamlet of Rosewood and killed at least 6 black residents. One survivor's family received reparations amounting to $3,333.33.
Now, I know you're like, Roman, what is that? I had to share that with you because you have to see there's a common theme here. There's a common thread, okay, with how United States federal government addresses these issues when it comes to reparation. And what I found and what I'm seeing and why I said Boston is the most progressive is because it's very specific to an instance of harm, okay, of harm. We're not talking about descendants of this time frame or this period of slaves. What you see is these groups of black Americans suffered this abuse because of this. The Chicago Police Department interning those, detaining those the inmates and treating them under harm. That's a specific incident that you can hold a specific certain amount of people accountable for a specific pay. So when you start seeing that form it being successful, similar all the way back to, I put on these acts all the way back, you're looking at specific acts. And I think for what we're finding and what I'm going to show to you all is that there's so many things and trauma that has come from black folks being enslaved from years, we're talking decades, centuries, that there's not one specific incident where you can put everybody under and say everyone gets a check. They want to cut out. Now I'm looking at California, they're only saying folks who are directly descendants of slavery. Well, whether you're a descendant or not, if you're black, you still stand that byproduct of racism, hesitance to offer bank loans. You still get that. So they're missing that, and they're facing arguments about that right now. So let's explore. One analytic I want to show you all is this. The majority of reparations supporters think financial assistance for education, businesses, and homes would be helpful forms of repayment. So now, what I just told you was U.S. has a history of paying reparations, and I'm saying across the board, not black people, not white people, not Indians, not China, but across the board for specific instances of harm. And when they do so, this chart is showing you that they favor mostly paying them in forms of education, businesses, and homes. So now hold those in your toolkit. So we explore. Now you have this little bit of knowledge. You know that this is how the United States has done it in the past, and I gleaned over it because it's so extensive. And now you have the understanding of what's more favorable when you offer it. Let's explore what these cities and states have done and why some have been, why they've been failing, and why I've told you Boston is on the right track, because they are targeting specific instances. They're looking at, they're saying Boston is like, look, from 1960 to 1980, anybody who was an inmate of the jail during this time frame, they should be awarded an X amount of dollars, because we know that there were specific instances of racism during that time period. If you're eligible, then you would apply. See, that to me, even though it's specific to Boston, when you start peeling that back to all these cities and states, there's a lot of people who are then pulled up under that for specific, and they can go all the way back. But when you start saying all Black Americans in every single state, in every city, should receive it for these specific reasons, and it's so general and broad, it's going to fail. You have two people on the aisle. You got millennials sitting at the table saying, well, wait now, hold up. What do you mean? And then you have, older generations who've lost property, who are living in nursing homes saying, hey, I still want my due diligence, even though I don't own property. California is saying, no, you got to own property. So for me, it's too vague. It needs to be specific so it can pass. So let's talk. So I don't know if I share with you all, and I think we did talk about this maybe last year, but Evanston Black residents, they enacted this reparations program. Now, everybody thought it was going to be extremely successful. No one expected it to go the way it did. Well, unfortunately, it went haywire. So what happened was, once they realized that they didn't have enough money to fund this Evanston reparations program, which they classified it as their first phase of the program would pay $25,000 to Black Evanston residents who experience housing discrimination. The funds would come in the form of coverage for home improvements, down payment and closing cost assistance, and mortgage payments. Now, what did we learn when I first started? If it's not a specific to an incident, they're going to fall on, well, we'll pay you in the form of education or a housing voucher. And that's what happened in Evanston. And the outcome of that was that they didn't have enough. It was upwards of $11 trillion, and they cannot meet that bill for reparations. So they started passing out they started saying, if your home needs repairs, you're eligible for a $25,000 check to get your home repaired. Is that what reparations look like for them? See, Evanston there was no identifiable situation. And they have so many in Evanston. They have this whole community that basically Evanston tore down and put away so that they could prop up another community. That's a specific example. They didn't use that example. So let me show you real quick about Evanston. And hit the like button. I know I'm trying to speed through this as much as possible, y'all. I know, so we can get to the stuff, but I have to talk about it. I got to, because if I didn't, I would be mad at myself. So check this out. Now, what you need to realize is that once they realized they weren't able to pay their residents, they started saying they were going to pay them out of the marijuana sales. Well, marijuana sales is not even enough to pay these residents. So get into this.
A historic set of reparations, a plan for eligible Black residents.
City Council approving a major first step last night. WGN's Gaynor Hall is live in Evanston with details. Gaynor?
Yeah, Ray and Micah, the effort took a big step forward last night, but one alderman says it's reparations in name only.
There's no Bauer Place on the city map of Evanston anymore.
The story of Bauer Place is part of Carlos B. Sutton's family history. He says what's now a parking lot across from Willard Elementary School is where his grandfather built his home, but was forced to move it to Foster Street.
Sometime around 1927, they told the people, the residents, they could have their house, but they couldn't have the land. What he had worked hard for and built was just ripped off the map.
The land clearance program was one of the ways Black residents were pushed into certain parts of the city.
In Evanston, we have on our books intentional zoning discrimination against the Black community.
Alderman Robin Rue Simmons has led the reparations effort. In 2019, the city council voted to commit $10 million collected from its tax on recreational marijuana sales. And last night, the council voted 8-1 to allocate the first $400,000 for a housing program providing up to $25,000 to Black home buyers or home owners. Alderman Cicely Fleming was the lone no vote. She says reparations are long overdue, but this isn't it.
As a housing program, I think it's great. As a reparations program, this falls very flat to me.
Nothing would be enough for the kinds of discrimination that my family endured over the years that they've been in this community.
But Sutton believes the plan is a start, and he says elderly residents should be prioritized.
For all of us who are closer to a casket than we are to obtaining a new mortgage, we need that kind of relief, and we need it now. So this would be a great help to me to remain in this community.
So, which, by the way, just like they got the lottery in most states, it funds education. I do think marijuana, because of how much Black folks have been disenfranchised by the use of it, I think that should be looked at as a possible foundation for paying back reparations. The marijuana. Now, it's not nearly enough. See, out of their whole budget in Evanston, they only allocated $400,000 to pay back these residents, and it amounted to about a $350 check per resident. That's not a fucking enough. And remember, I told you, if it's not enough, they're going to default to what? A housing voucher or education voucher. So Evanston is now at a standstill. They passed the legislation. There's supposed to be compensation, and as they're now getting it, it's either you want $25,000 for your home, or you're going to get this $300 check. What do you want? Where's the reparations in that? And again, this man specifically pointed out that land clearance program. Anybody who was impacted by that land clearance program should receive a reparation. And then you get into, well, maybe there were white people impacted by it. They should receive a reparation too. That's the only way this shit is going to move. It cannot be, it should be specific to a situation and an issue in that community. That's the only way it's going to move. That's when you can get tax dollars used as well, property tax dollars, because it's in the same community, it's the same people. It's the only way it's going to move. So let's look at another. I know you're looking like Roman, but you know it's. But I'm telling you, when you look at all of these, the history of how the U.S. has funded their reparations, they've done it in a way that you have to either fall into a criteria or meet a certain program. And so, and only for that to be fair, we need to get people at the table like Boston is doing. Boston is doing a really good job. I've been watching this for a while since they started this fucking vote, but they've been doing it. They've been doing a great job. Now let's get into California. See, everybody thinks that California is doing this wonderful job because it's California, and you're hearing about this $300,000 check that's supposed to be going to folks. But California is suffering the same thing. Remember, we're going back to one. It's either going to come in the form of an education voucher or a housing check, or we're going to aggregate it. 19th century. What the fuck is that? So, reparation panel deliberate compensation for Black Californians. They're considering suggesting including $350,000 for descendants of enslaved Black people and an eligibility requirement. Sorry about that. I always get twisted on that word. So what they're saying is that they want it to be done in two early stages. They want to have more questions first, but they want to pay people in this order. From people, government taking of property, devaluation of Black-owned businesses, housing discrimination and homelessness, mass incarceration, and over-policing and health. Now, when you look at that, you're like, oh, that's great, because there's so many disparities in all of those that Black folks face. But there's so many. That's a Latino almost majority state. So when you look at that and you look in totality, you're going to have to look at a specific issue and time frame within those categories to justify that, because there is homelessness all across the board. Now, we can say, where did the homelessness come for Black Americans in the state of California, and follow that trail? That then becomes a pinpoint for us to say, that's the requirement. And yeah, shit, if I was in California and my grandparents met the eligible, I would still benefit from that. You know what I mean? It's still coming down that lineage, but they're not looking at it. They're looking at casting a wide ass net, getting as many people eligible as possible so that they can come back to us and say, okay, now we're going to issue you a education voucher or a housing voucher, or we're going to give you your property back, or we're going to value your business, or we'll give you a business loan. But there's no, when you do that, it's too wide of a net to say you're going to give somebody. We just got to be realistic. Yeah, we're owed it. Yeah, it's almost trillions of dollars. We're owed it, but we got to be strategic and smart in our approach. So the goals of Their whole program in California is to distribute reparations to a group of Black residents. You hear that, a group of Black residents, but it doesn't have a timeline set in stone for finishing its work. So you have to pay attention to that. It's a group. We've all been disenfranchised, though. We've all faced hardships or roadblocks to gaining access to financial freedom or doing things. We all have. Yes, the fuck we have. There's so many other criteria that we have to meet before we can even get approved for something. Okay. You go and try to purchase a home in a wealthy, affluent neighborhood as a Black man, especially a single Black man. What do you think your lender is going to be asking from you and requirements from you? A lot more than it would be from someone else. And that's just a fact. And that's policy. That's a lot heavier. So reparations for me, I equate them to a specific issue that we can definitely say we suffered from, my family suffered from, and you know, my mom is dead, but I'm her descendant son, so I should be eligible to apply for those benefits, right? For me, I think that's the best way to go about it. Let me real quick stop and check the chat. I'm sorry, y'all know I'll be going on a tangent. I'm trying to glean through this topic so quickly. Good morning, y'all. Shout out to the crew. I see y'all in here. What up? They fell on purpose. You okay, Alfreda? If you can pay Holocaust survivors, you can give reparations. You see that, Holocaust survivors? Soon as we start understanding that paradigm of, it's not even only about making Americans understand it, it's about how you do it in Congress and how this becomes a political theater aspect. You know, I'm just trying to, come up with a specific, but any specific incident that people can come up with in a community that a lot of people have suffered, and you can prove that, that's non-debatable. Yes, now we're in the money. But I think we've thrown that we want to cast the net so wide to appease everyone, and we don't realize that doing that sets us up for, okay, we'll give you all a housing voucher. Well, bitch, I don't want a housing voucher. I need the cash to get on the loans, the student loans. I want my 40 acres. They can keep the damn mule. Okay. Good morning, Coco. Hey, Tracy. Good morning, Tracy. My family comes from the Merritt Plantation, Wake County, North Carolina. Okay. And you see North Carolina has a $10 million fund. Now, I don't know how much of that fund has been allocated, but it didn't seem like it was more. It was enough, 1700s. Good morning, Naries. Hey, Voodoo. Good morning. Good morning. Rodney, what up? Hey, King Roman. I was watching a video on Minnesota's redlining certain areas via covenants so they couldn't sell to people of color. So oppressive. And there's a specific situation. That's a specific situation. And I think a lot of times they put all these instances in a larger plan, but it's too wide. You got to be realistic. That is way too wide. And it takes a very organized group of people to come together and say, in the state of California, in this area, during this time frame, this many residents suffered this because of this. They need to be compensated using this many dollars from this fund. But you'll see Boston is doing that. Boston is working there. I think they've looked at what other folks are doing and they said, okay, wait, we need to follow the trail, follow the disenfranchisement. Let's follow that. And let's start marking these incidents across the fucking state. And as they're doing that in Massachusetts, it's becoming alarming. And other states are now watching and taking hold to this too. So I'm going to play a clip of that too. Good morning, Alfreda. I said good morning. I'm sorry. They toss a reparations bone out every few years. What about student debt relief for those who were unable to file their loans under bankruptcy? It's a lot of different specific situations. So let's get into California real quick. Boston. So Boston, here we go. Task force to study reparations for blacks in Boston gets unanimous vote. Boston NAACP president calls it historic. Very historic. So here's their study. So they're going to form a task force to study, which is part of a growing movement by states to discuss reparations. The reparations supporters in Boston cite the city's history of racism and discrimination, including supporting slavery after Massachusetts abolished it in 1873 and its history of segregated housing. So this is what their task force is going to do. They're going to study different reparation models, the disparities that have hurt its black residents. Now, you notice not a group of, we're talking about the disparities that hurt its black residents. See, that takes a lot. That takes more studying. if we're going to put everybody in this cat, let's figure out what everybody suffer from. My suffer in terms of a reparation is a lot different than my great grandmother in 1938 or something. And so for us all to get the same check, it's different. It's different. And when you break it down like that, it becomes a little bit more palatable, and you can market and sell that and push that. And Boston also is setting it up so that it also becomes a federal responsibility as well, because that's where the money is. States, they all right, but federal is where the dollars are. So I want to play this clip about what Boston got going on, and then we'll be done. Okay, I got it all out. Where's the Boston clip? Oh crap. Come on. Okay. All right. Let me pull this up real quick because Boston. All right.
Councilor Baker, aye. Councilor Bach. Councilor Bach, aye. Councilor Braden. Councilor Braden, aye. Councilor Coletta. Councilor Coletta, yes. Councilor Fernandez Anderson. Councilor Fernandez Anderson, yes. Councilor Flaherty. Yes. Councilor Flaherty, yes. Councilor Flynn. Yes. Councilor Flynn, yes. Councilor Lara. Councilor Lara, yes. Councilor Louisiana. Yes. Councilor Louisiana, yes. Councilor Mejia. Councilor Mejia, yes. Councilor Murphy. Yes. Councilor Murphy, yes. And Councilor Worrell. Yes. Councilor Worrell, yes. Docket number 0239 has received a unanimous vote.
And so shout out to Boston. Now what that does is it sets up their council to explore all of the ways that its residents have been harmed. So they're expected to produce this report in July of 2023 that has all of these categories, all of these different criteria. And what I expect to see is dates with specific incidents or policies where residents, ages between this fall under that. And that to me is a sign of moving the needle forward instead of casting this wide net that California is trying to push, this wide net that Evanston attempted to and realized they can't fund it. But when you break it down smaller, and this is just my tidbit of it, you break it down smaller, it can be funded. Now, something that got me out of this whole reparations is that what America is trying to do is show reparations in another form. Now, this is the federal government, President Biden level. President Biden just recently returned from the African summit, okay, and he allocated and committed so much to Africa in its efforts to right size the role the U.S. played in his speech. Now, I want you to look at how much he's allocated, and I want you to ask yourselves, how do you feel about this? Now, I'm a Black American. Of course, my ancestors have come from Africa, but currently I face some of the roadblocks here in America, and so I did feel some kind of way about this. I want you all to pay attention to this. And sometimes I feel like this is the way the federal government gets away with playing in our faces.
In a keynote address at the three-day U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit, President told the crowd the United States is, quote, all in on Africa's future, pitching the U.S. as a reliable partner to promote democratic elections and push critical health and energy growth. Biden told the crowd that Monday's announcement of $55 billion in investments over the next 3 years was, quote, just the beginning, promising more than $15 billion in private trade and investment commitments, as well as partnerships.
That's why I feel like we have to specify, get real specific on our issues in our own communities about, reparations, And it can't be cast the whole fucking wide net. And if you want to, you got to do the time, the work to break that shit down. It has to be broken down. Because again, as you can see, what I posted on my community wall, in all of these most successful instances of the United States issuing reparations, it has come in the form of a specific act, a specific instance, a specific policy, and that's what we need to go after. And I just saw someone put something here about Tariq. I came across one of his videos this morning too. Voodoo, yes, I came across Tyreek Nasheed's one of his videos this morning too. I said, I found myself debating him too. They toss a reparation bone out. Okay, good morning, Very Carey. Hey, boo. Yes, I hope so too. Good morning, Fates. Hell no. Okay, they want Africa's resources. Listen, do you hear what I'm saying? That ain't no you playing in our faces. That's not going to benefit a African American in any shape or form. Playing in our faces, and you think that, and it sounds good, like, oh, they're spending he's sending all this money over there. No, we need to pay attention to it. Look at both of those, and for me, it's equally yoked. We're willing to do that to Africa, but what are we doing for our own Black American citizens today, Biden? You know, what are you doing to push this conversation forward? So stay tuned to this. I'm not saying reparations is coming today, tomorrow, next year, next week, but I do think Boston, out of all the folks in states that are having the conversation, they're a bit more progressive in their approach. Now, Massachusetts has a lot of fucking racism in the state. I don't know if you all been there before. Massachusetts has a lot of racism in their state, and they wrote a resolution saying, yes, we know, we participated in the slave trade, we know. So for them to take this step has been great, and to watch them roll it out is extremely alarming. So thank you all for staying with me on that. Okay, stay tuned to that. I'm so glad y'all let me get through that. Oh my God. Thank you. Okay, and shout out to the replay crew. If you watched that and made it through to this point, I hope you subscribe. You already with the crew now. You already in. Okay. So when y'all hear these conversations, at least you can have a little bit of knowledge. This wasn't the whole picture. There's a whole movement. But then there's a whole discussion about a reparations tax that always fails, because to me, again, if you're going to tax someone or somebody for reparations for a group of people, it needs to be targeted. You can't tax me here in where I'm living for somebody that's down. It has to be specific in order for it to be passed. So thank y'all for staying with me on that topic. Okay. Whew. We did it. We finna switch over now. We did it. Shout out to the crew. All right, so we got a lot of shit to cover outside of reparations, and that was just our political topic of the day. Now we're gonna get into our crazy stories. Okay, I have 3 crazy stories that I want to share with you, and it all has to do with parents and children. Okay, what the fuck is going on with parents and children nowadays? I'm seeing these stories more and more. Okay, so now the first story I want to talk about is, and I want y'all opinion. Y'all are parents in the chat. I want y'all opinion. So this mother records herself chopping her daughter's hair off and says it's for educational purposes only. Now I got the video. Now apparently her daughter had been disrespecting her, or not, doing what she said she wanted to do, and paying too much attention to herself, her beauty. And so she decided to, out the blue, catch her daughter and start chopping her hair off on a video, uploads the video to TikTok, and now she's receiving so much backlash. People are saying it's a horrible form of punishment. Your daughter is going to be thinking ugly of herself. It's just a whole mess. And so I looked at the video and I have my own opinion, but I wanted to know what the crew thinks about this. Now, this mother, and don't forget that we're doing the keyword, and the keyword starts now. Okay, we're doing the keyword now. This mother, apparently, she seems completely convicted. Okay, she's completely convicted in whatever she feels about how her daughter's disrespecting her, to the point where she's going to take it this far. Check this shit out.
Because my kid thinks it's more important to be pretty than educated, more important to be a follow body than a leader, right? Okay. I'm not a parent who likes to use physical discipline. Come here, you're gonna learn today, girl. No physical discipline. Mom, don't mom me. No. You had your warning, you had your chance. I told you to listen. I told you stop disobeying my rules. I told you being cute ain't shit if you have no education. I told you stop disobeying me. I told you to listen and do as you're supposed to. I told you to do good in school. I told you to do your daily routine, and you yet to even do any of it. And you thought you were disobeying me today and I was not coming to cut this hair off. You're sadly mistaken because you thought being pretty was so much better than being educated or listening to your mom, right? Yes, this is what happens when you don't listen to your mom.
Now, there's another video on social media of the girl crying in bed with her hand holding her head, just embarrassed. Now, how do you all feel about that? Is that for what she said? Is that justifiable? Do you go and just cut your daughter's hair off like that? Like, I don't know. I borderline felt like that was traumatizing. I felt like you don't understand sort of you're going to be sending your child to school looking like this. Like, there's a sense of, you know, pride. I don't know. I didn't, maybe it's me. I didn't think it was the best form of punishment, especially for no young girl nowadays. What are you saying? So you think she should do that to her children? Are you saying repeat that form of punishment? I mean, yesterday we were talking about, Monday we were talking about forms of punishment. And now we get here where I think it's a little excessive. She is insane. Okay, props, camera up to discipline. No, that was a lot. Okay, thank you. I think it was a stunt. I was looking at her hair like, is this really a stunt? But it's just one other video on Twitter of her just in the bed, like crying. And I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, I saw this. I think it's so sad. There's so many other ways she could have punished her. Humiliation is never a good thing in front of her peers. It's never a good thing. Some parents have less sense than the child. Poor baby. I hate videos like that. It seems staged. I was looking for the stageness of it. It looked kind of crazy to me. She's still pretty, so what the hell? That's crazy. Definitely. Baby girl ain't even cried. She didn't. She didn't. So y'all think it was staged and that she wanted her hair cut and so her mom used that as an example? Mom just trying to get shine. That is physical discipline. It's part of her physical. That's called acting, King Roman. Really? So let's say it's acting. People think that's cool, like that's something smooth to do. I don't think that's cute. Or she got enough backlash though. It was enough parents that could jump down her throat. So she made her own little rebuttal. She had to come out here and make a rebuttal, and she didn't record a video. She just went to Twitter and say that daughter messes up, daughter loses hair, and that's pretty much what she says. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Daughter messes up, daughter loses hair. And then people were saying that the mom didn't beat her, but I'm pretty sure this is still a form of physical punishment. When mothers cut their daughter's hair off as a form of punishment, it's never about teaching a lesson, it's abuse. Women understand the importance of hair for other women and especially little girls. It's about humbling their daughters and making their daughters feel less than. I noticed in the video, the mother put an emphasis on how being pretty isn't everything while proceeding to chop her daughter's hair off while looking into the camera with a filter on. If the purpose is to teach how looks aren't everything, why do you need a filter on? So those were some of the comments from the mother. And what was her response? I think her response, yeah, she basically, that's all she said on her Twitter page. Baby, abuse. I'm sorry. I feel like it was abuse. I went to high school with a guy whose mom wouldn't allow him to bathe and force him to wear dirty old clothes as a form of discipline. As an adult, he's a struggle rapper, drug dealer, warehouse worker. That is abuse. That's abuse. No one should be walking around. That's abuse. I never thought about that. Maybe that was her way of giving her daughter the big chop. That was dumb though. She cut them braids. So along these lines of abuse, y'all. Okay, let's continue down these lines of abuse. So you got this mother pulling this fucking stunt on her daughter on Twitter, on TikTok. Some of us saying it's fake. I'm saying whether it's fake or not, it's abusive. Then you got this other mother, and I told you all about it, cyberbullying her daughter. Now we got to get into this story. It's so funny that her name. What y'all think her name would start like? Can we get a name poll in the chat? Can somebody drop what y'all think her name would be? What do you think this woman's name would be? I'm gonna go ahead and put her picture back up on the screen. Does it show her name on the screen? No, it doesn't. Okay, what y'all think her name is? Because her name got me. Her name got me. Don't it look like? Don't it look like Teresa giving you a cake, baby? Do y'all know this lady's name is Kendra? This lady name is Kendra. Okay, Kendra Lakari. I said, now Kendra. I said she out here trying to goop the girls. Because if I saw Kendra Lakari on a police report, I would have been like, hey, Demus O, thank you for becoming a member. Shout out to Demus O. Thank you, boo. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Shout out to Demus O. I said Kendra. So let me tell you about Kendra. Kendra has a fucking problem. This is Kendra. So back in 2021, her daughter, mind you, her daughter at the time was like 16, 17. Her daughter and her boyfriend began receiving these harassing messages first on their social media and then to their personal phone. So they go to the school like somebody is saying shit like, you're going to get fucked up. Your girlfriend doesn't like you. She's cheating with me. Basically saying the daughter is cheating with the boy and saying the boyfriend and then sending the girl messages, he's cheating on you and all this stuff, right? So they said they go together and tell the school. The school said we can't do nothing about it. They contact local authorities. Local authorities like, well, now what the fuck? Because it was still happening. And guess how many messages? For over a total of 8 months, the mother had been fucking sending both these people between 1,000 messages, 500 to 1,000 messages, sending them messages. And so finally, the law enforcement said, we got to get FBI involved. We don't know how to solve this shit. We got to get FBI involved. FBI comes in, and the FBI comes in, and first thing they do, you know what the FBI does? Well, let's get the IP address off the messages from what the fuck? Child, it led them directly to her own home. They didn't tell the girl. They didn't alarm the girl. So these messages are still coming while they know this shit. And they in the back like, are you kidding me? So they're thinking it's somebody else in the house. Come to find out, the mother is the one doing this. Now, of course, they gonna plead, oh, she got mental health. They done came up with a whole motherfucking syndrome for this woman called cyberbullying, Munchausen by proxy, meaning she gets a high off of cyberbullying her daughter because it forces her daughter to need her mother. So based by cyberbullying and threatening my daughter, it scares her to run into my arms and need me because she needs her boy. She wants to be with her boyfriend more than me. I said, bitch, what in the fuck? So, and the mother worked at the school, by the way. She worked at the school with the daughter. So she would see what's going on. And when she would see something she didn't like, she would send a nasty old message. This shit is getting out of control. You got the mom cutting the daughter hair. You got this mom cyberbullying her own fucking daughter to get her to need her. What are we doing, y'all? What's going on in America? So y'all get into, let me share this. Let me share this shit with y'all. Well, I know she wanted to fight her mom. I know she did. You know she did. What kind of shit is this?
Bizarre case of a mother accused of cyber-stalking her own daughter. The Michigan woman is now facing felony charges, and Trevor Alt is here with more. Trevor, the motive is still a mystery this morning.
It is, Cecilia. There's no confirmed motive, but there are some theories being floated out by prosecutors, including one that's saying this is something like cyber Munchausen's by proxy, where essentially they're making their child feel bad so that the child comes to them for comfort. But whatever the cause, these allegations are extensive and they are incredibly alarming.
Wait, did y'all hear that? I never heard of that in my life. Except for that lady who faked her daughter being sick. But I never heard you cause harm by social media to get your daughter to come to need you. This is some shit for the books. I'm telling you, I be coming across this shit like, how in the hell? What?
Alarming.
Even when we realized that it wasn't a kid, we weren't expecting that it would be a parent.
This morning, a startling story out of Michigan. Prosecutors accusing a mother of catfishing and harassing her own daughter. Authorities allege Kendra Licari secretly sent her daughter and daughter's boyfriend thousands of hateful texts and messages for months.
We had tens of thousands of text messages, and whether they were messages that were just to her daughter or some of her daughter's friends, and the digital footprint was just insane.
According to prosecutors, Licari's daughter first received these messages in early 2021, with Licari and the daughter's boyfriend's parents then reporting it to officials at their school, who later referred the situation to law enforcement. But the messages allegedly continued, and investigators claim this spring they discovered Licari was the source when they traced the messages back to her.
When they informed us later in the spring that they were suspecting that it possibly was her, it shocked all of us. I think everybody involved.
Authorities allege Licari used software to hide the origin of the messages, using several numbers and area codes, even allegedly trying to make it look like her daughter's classmates were behind it all.
In doing so, it would shield her and kind of cloak her identity or her digital identity. But eventually we were able to see that her IP address was popping in and out right before and right after these messages were going through.
Licari is facing 5 charges, including stalking a minor and obstruction of justice. She was released on $5,000 bond. Police documents show when confronted with the evidence, she admitted the messages came from her. She and her attorney said they have no comment at this time. Now, Licari is facing 4 felony counts, which each carry the possibility of several years in prison. According to investigators, these messages were first reported to the school when Licari was working there as a basketball coach.
Wow, such an alarming story. All right, Trevor, thank you.
Gary, stop. Gary, stop. Come on, we got, you know what? I'm not surprised. We got some of those people in the beef sector. Who in their right mind, I'm being for real, this is not even, who thinks that for a period of 8 months, you're going to, how do you come together to pin the messages together to hurt your child that much? And then see them being hurt by it and you continue doing it because it makes you feel good. Bitch, you need some street justice, honey. You need to get banged up a little bit, even though it looked like you lived a hard life. I'm talking about hard candy, hard life, honey. You look bad in the face, probably bad in the brain. Bitch, what? Are you kidding me? What? How do you tell me something? Her and her attorney don't have a comment. I know you ain't got a comment, bitch. Oh, this, and then you be thinking like, damn, this girl is definitely traumatized. Your own mother. At this point moving forward, how do y'all deal with it? You just gotta, like, you sort of like, damn, my mom. I wonder what that next conversation looked like between them two. I'm sorry, girl, ain't no sorry, and I don't know. That's some weird shit for me. It's like a drug. Once she started, she couldn't stop. Can't remember. Where are your mods? Where are the moddies? Who was the last mod? I know they probably working around this time. Mods. Did I even have a mod? No, I didn't have a mod at all this morning. They probably working. It's cool. Not Sharon Needles. Who black woman she stole that from? Everything is a diagnosis. Cyberbullying by Munchausen proxy. What the fuck is that? Slap a hoe by proxy is what she need. Okay, cyberbullying, mental illness. I'm so tired of folks pleading. Damn, my mic a little loud. That's sick. There's some mental illness. What could cause a sane parent, Google Voice. It's like, imagine what that child's, that's what I'm saying. Like, imagine what it's going to be like. Okay. And yeah, hit that thumbs up. Now, so I put those 2 stories first, right? Now, imagine, right? So you got that, right? That ain't nothing. You got the mom cutting the daughter hair off, and then you got the mom cyberbullying her child. Now get into this next story, crazy story, and y'all hit the like button. Please hit the like button. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate the love. okay, Carrie, I don't know if I could forgive my mother for doing that. I'm gonna move on. I don't either. I don't know if I could trust you. Like, I definitely would be guarded around you. I probably wouldn't give you my cell phone number. Just send me emails. I don't know. It's definitely a touchy situation. Like, wow. And you're young and impressionable. You're at a point where you're juvenile enough to know wrong is wrong. So let's get into this next story. This shit right here had me going. So remember, we've been talking about this. You know, you tell your child to do something and they don't want to do it. You know, you got the one mother who told her daughter whatever, cut her hair off allegedly. Then you got this other mother cyberbullying her child. Well, you got this mother in Florida tells her son, you need to clean your room, child. You need to go clean your room. And he has had it. She's been telling him this to do this for the past week, and the boy ain't been cleaning his fucking room. Apparently, he likes to live like a pigsty. She ain't say shit to him at all, right? So she finally tell him he had enough. He hauls the fuck off, stabs her in the back, and beats her in the face with a frying pan so badly that the handle of the frying pan flew off. Own mother. That's his mom. Then calls his friend and say, hey, come to the crib, bring a gun so I can shoot her dead. Friend comes to the crib. I said, the friend comes to the crib. I hope y'all arrest this nigga too. He comes to the crib and don't call the police. I hope this nigga's going too. I don't trust you out with the regular society. Nope. My friend called me talking about something. I just beat my mom up and now she on the floor suffering. Come with the gun so I can kill her dead. I ain't rolling up, nigga. I'm on some real shit. Yo, mom, I'm calling the police. The fuck? Yo, I don't know what's going on. So, baby girl, I be trying to like, no, listen, this is some real shit. Florida teen allegedly stabbed, beat mother with frying pan over keeping his room clean. I got the clip for y'all. I just want to break the story down so when you get to the clip, it's like, oh my God. So we ain't done yet. So beats the mom, calls his friend. Friend comes over with the gun, by the way, and tells the friend to basically pushes the friend out the car, steals the car from the friend, then goes to pick up his girlfriend to go to eat. He's had it. Police finally comes to the house. She's on the floor, wounded. She's alive. Thank God. She said, my son did it. My son did it. They go and find the son, get him, arrest him. He tells them, yeah, because she been telling me to clean my room. I don't like when she tell me to clean my room. I'm sick of her nagging me about cleaning my room. Boy, see, that comes from not early on getting your... Now, remember, we were talking about Amari Stoudemire breaking jaws and all that stuff. That ain't what I'm talking about. This comes from early on. I'm talking about when you were like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, getting that shit corrected then. Because you at this point where you feel like you going to hit me with a frying pan, that takes a whole level of disrespect that you've built up. Like, I'm sure he's been talking shit to his mom a long time. You can't tell me this a one and done. He been over there telling her, shut the fuck up. Don't you tell me to do shit. Bitch, who you talking to? He been over there doing that. This ain't no one and done. Are you kidding me? So let's get into this clip. Shout out to the crew. Thank y'all for being in here. We at 50. Y'all know that always, I'll be like, oh my God. Y'all be doing too much. Shout out to the crew. I appreciate y'all. Y'all get into this one. Crazy ass boy. No, he get his ass beat on the street. You knew it couldn't have been. I ain't even gonna say that, but you just know what it couldn't have been, baby. Uncles and Tom.
New details on a story that we brought you last month about a 17-year-old from Cocoa who's being accused of leading law enforcement on a wild chase.
This is video of the end of that pursuit that went through multiple counties. The teen suspect is now charged with attempted murder. West 2's Scott Heidler reports the victim in this case is the boy's own mother.
Gruesome new details reveal how police say a 17-year-old suspect brutally attacked his mother in a report from the Cocoa Police Department. Detectives say he stabbed her several times and hit her in the face with a frying pan. The report states when police arrived, the victim took a breath and stated, did this. As he's underage, we're not identifying the suspect. According to the police report, a friend of the suspect tried to get him to stop the attack. He then drove off in a Kia belonging to his mother, picking up his girlfriend. The friend who witnessed the attack and also another teen followed them in a Jeep also belonging to the victim. Police were able to track the defendant by pinging his cell phone. Once located, investigators say he refused to stop and led law enforcement on a high-speed chase into multiple counties. Eventually, they crashed while exiting I-95, where the suspect was apprehended. Detectives say that while interviewing the suspect, he admitted to stabbing the victim multiple times with a pocket knife that he carries around. He struck the victim in the head until the frying pan broke. And as to why he did it, the suspect advised that he was upset because his mother was constantly on his case about cleaning his room. He has one prior arrest for criminal mischief from earlier this year. In Brevard County, Scott Heidler, West 2 News.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And just so carelessly, she been cleaning my room. Now, I was going to ask a question. Would you all continue with the charges against your child, or are you putting them in mental health, or what are you doing? At that point, nigga, you ain't coming back to this house. I don't know where the fuck you going to live at, but you ain't living here. And charge him. Not only charge him for that, there's some other shit. It's theft. I got some stuff missing in the house. We put that nigga up. He ain't coming back here. Frying pan to me, though, that's a different level of hit. You know, I could see maybe he shoved you. Okay. A frying pan, that's a form of I want to take you the fuck out. And then you wanted a gun. Poor defenseless mother. She's just sitting there. Her child that she carried for 9 months attacked her. Yeah. All right. You got me fucked all the way up. You wouldn't be coming back to my house, baby. And imagine having that much rage inside of you over simple housekeeping. Just imagine what else. They made my fruit snacks. I wanted throwing them out. I wish he would throw a motherfucking thing around my house. Plate, fruit snacks, anything. Boy, it's crazy out here. Disowned, period. Lazy and nasty in other people's house. Okay, good morning, Karma Cartel. People think spoiling their children is cute, and it's absolutely not, because they grow up with that behavior to the point where it's almost expected. They get out here in the real world, people be looking at them like, bitch, I know better. Right, I agree. You have to start. You really do. Parents need to be parents to their children, not friends. I agree. He been disrespectful since he could talk. I'm telling you, that's not just no once and done. That's a over time, you've been getting on my nerves and I'm about to check you kind of thing. I would have never have anything to do with my child again, baby. That's just as bad as the story out of Mako County. Dude killed cashier, went to his house to arrest him, found his dead pregnant girlfriend, decomposed body. You see what I'm saying? Child looked like Pugsley. Stop. I'm not doing this with you. I'm not. He definitely would have had a swollen jaw. It wouldn't have just been, he'd have got his licks in with the frying pan, but I guarantee you, he would have had it would have been some damage. They would have been looking at charging me too. Fuck wrong with you? In my house, a disobedient child days will be short on this earth. Really. He probably getting counseling. I'm telling you, that's probably what's gonna come next. I'll stay tuned. At that point, you're not my kid. A swollen everything. The fuck wrong with you? Putting your hands on me. Because I asked you to clean your room, you can get the fuck out. That's what you can do. And I wouldn't have asked you more than once. It'd have been like, yo, because I know from my lesson with my TT, go wash these dishes. Okay. And I learned my lesson. Okay. When she asked me next time, all right, I'm about to go do it. I go and fucking do it. Ain't no, because I got that early. I saw it early. This dude was like, no, I bet you she's embarrassed. I'll tell you this. I bet you her as a mother, I bet you she's embarrassed. Yeah, he hit me. That's embarrassing as fuck. Because also on that flip side, yeah, we're talking about the child, but that also goes to your own parental skills. Like, wow, your child just hit you. I mean, you can always say, yeah, he has some mental health issues. He didn't take his pills. You can always blame it on that, but it really becomes like, damn, your child did that to you though? Girl, what the fuck going on over there? So that's my crazy stories, my kid stories. Now we're gonna get into a mental health story. I just wanted to add a new category, because we've been seeing a lot of mental health story. Now this story right here is really, 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 next topic, mental health, is really sad. A very, very sad story. So we have this girl, her name is Khalil Brister. And she was found dead in a lake with her daughter. Now, there's been some very much so details about this story that people are just like not understanding why the cops took too long investigating this story to figure out, what could happen. So Khalil Brister, this girl, okay, she was at her mother's house on Wednesday of last week, and she was over there with her daughter, and out the blue, she took the family car and she drove off Wednesday night. So during this period of time, she must have slept in a car or something. Early Thursday morning, she woke up and the daughter woke up and the daughter was rumbling about, and she found this lady. I guess they were on a side near a river or some water. And she told the lady, help, I need help. My mom, she's tired and she wants to drive into the water. Help. And then the girl ran back to her mother. And so the lady calls 911 like, look, I don't know what happened, but something's going on. Now, that was early Thursday morning. Then the mother calls 911 to say, hey, we have my missing granddaughter. We have my missing daughter. Took my car. I don't know what's going on. She has some mental health issues going on. These folks decided, okay, we don't know what's going on. So they went to the scene, didn't find nothing. Then they left. Come to find out, the car was submerged in water in the lake. The woman had drove her and her baby into the lake. Now, people are saying, why didn't the cops immediately issue a Amber Alert for the child? Which we'll see in another story today. Why didn't the cops issue an Amber Alert for the story? Apparently there was cross signals. Nobody knew what the other person was doing in the story. So the mother is here sad. She doesn't really understand the investigation of this story. So get into these details of this story. Rest in peace, Khalil Brister and her little baby. So fucking sad.
And we begin with breaking news right now at 5. New information about a heartbreaking discovery in a Milwaukee lake.
Family confirming the names of the little girl and woman found dead yesterday afternoon inside a submerged car. They shared these photos of 7-year-old Tyrielle Jefferson and her mother, 25-year-old Kalila Brister.
The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department just released a statement saying that they had taken a call at around 4:30 Wednesday afternoon, quote, regarding a possible suicidal subject threatening to drive her vehicle into the lake with her daughter inside, end quote. Deputies originally drove to Bradford Beach, but found nothing. The car was later found submerged in Northridge Lake. Katie Crowther talked to family.
25-year-old Kalila Brister and 7-year-old Tyrielle Jefferson, a first grader at Hope Christian Academy, should still be here. Family identifies them as the mother and daughter found in a car submerged in Northridge Lake near 70th and Brown Deer Road Thursday.
She was honestly just the sweetest little girl.
Little girl just has so much joy, so much life. Just every time you see her, she's so spunky and full of joy. It's a tough one. This is tough.
We reached out to Kalila's family. A close friend tells me Kalila was battling mental illness, but loved her daughter and was a good mom.
Kalila, she was a sweet girl as well.
I met with Tyrielle's father's side of the family.
My nephew is he's just destroyed.
We all just try to keep him, surrounded by love and family. Not try to let him be alone.
They say Kalila reached out to Tyrielle's father in a concerning way.
She was dealing with something, but probably just didn't really know the best way, to reach out to someone. You're trying to find her and trying to get where she is, and you get no information, and then she's not answering the phone. And then the next thing you know, you see it on Facebook about this car in the lake.
Drove here to Northridge Lake with Tyrielle. The family members I spoke with say she used a woman's phone near Milwaukee's lakefront. Well, that woman expressed concern about the mother and daughter and took action.
She called the police. She took pictures of the license plates. She gave her $20 and told her that it was going to be okay because she was trying to get to Brown Deer.
Milwaukee police only saying this is still an active investigation.
So very sad. A very sad story. And it's always like, sometimes, when I try to think about like, what are the signs, what could we have done earlier? But just even knowing that she reached out to the father of her child, saying, "Hey, I'm going through some things. Sometimes we don't take those as serious as we need to, and it always takes a situation like this, rest in peace, for us to realize how serious those things may be. Rest in peace to both of them, and shout out to the woman, shout out to everybody who tried to apprehend, giving the girl money, trying to get her not to go, to move forward, and she ended up finding herself submerged in the lake. A lot of folks, still question a lot of the details of the story. If you care to look it up, around the response time of the police when they were first called, which was I think it was Wednesday afternoon, not Thursday afternoon, but Wednesday afternoon, and they did nothing about it. And then Thursday, you find the car early morning submerged in the lake. So there is still some investigating going on here, and it's so sad. And Clyde, I saw your comment. Like they talk about our community. Where's the father? Is there a father in the home? Is there a father in the home? Is there a father in the home? Girl, it probably wasn't. And even if it was, I'm sure he would have hit him too. Are y'all hearing static or is it just me? The hell? A little too close today. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, much better. Clyde, not a teen, heartbreaking, very heartbreaking. So sad, so sad. And so there's a mental health story for you. If somebody's reaching out to you, take that shit serious because you never know what it'll end like. Daughter into lake, hours later, dead bodies were found. Now let's get into our murder stories, our crime stories, our crazy fucking stories for the day. Shout out to the crew. I hope y'all hit the like button, man. Cause y'all know y'all sometimes be like, damn, I forgot. Let me go back. Come on. Give me some love this morning. This morning. This morning. It's 38 likes, 50 folks here. Who's stunting on me? Who's stunting on me? Who's stunting in front like that? Go ahead and give me a like. We done got through a lot. I'm saying no. We done talked about a lot. Go ahead and give me a little like. All right, so let's get into this next story. This shit here is just some of the most terrifying shit that you're probably going to hear this week. Uber driver fatally stabbed by man who decided he was going to kill someone. So let's get into this story. Let's break this down. So Yolanda Dillon, she is 54 years old, and she's a 10-year budget analyst with the New Orleans Police Department, as well as she's an Uber driver. So on this given day, she decided to, hey, I'm going to take Uber. I'm going to do some Ubering. And the guy, and his name is Brandon Jacobs, and he's 29 years old. So on this day, he woke up and said, I'm going to kill somebody today. I don't know who it's going to be, where it's going to be, but I'm going to kill somebody today. Literally woke up that way and decided that whoever I do, if I kill an Uber driver, I don't need to kill them upon arrival. I need to wait for them to drop me off and then kill them so I can get back to my hotel room. Well, that's exactly what he did. He fatally stabbed this woman and casually got out of the Uber car. He recorded it, first of all, got out of the Uber car, walked in. We're going to see the footage of it. Walked into the motel, his hotel. And when another woman went to go look at the car because the car was sitting there with its door open, she looked in there and she sees the woman bleeding. She runs back into the hotel to call the police. Now he goes to his room, uploads the video to his Facebook page. Now, law officials say he don't have many followers, so nobody really saw it. Because I was looking for the video, like, wait, what? No video. I couldn't find the video. They reached out to social media. Video got pulled down. But first they reached out to Uber to see who was her last passenger, and they were able to locate him, arrest him. They asked the man, why did you do it? He was like, well, it wasn't her. Uber chose her. That Uber made the choice for her. I just wanted anybody to kill, and Uber decided that she was going to be the one to pick me up. There's a lesson in this shit. One, for the company, Uber, you got to do something. This shit ain't getting easier. This shit ain't it's getting worse. As well as mental health is rising, people are finding other ways to kill and take motherfuckers out. Now, I mark my words, y'all. I'm gonna say this is the first time of this kind of story that we talked about here. Watch how many more times we talk about someone innocently choosing an Uber driver to off them. Folks need to put them dividers up in their cars. I don't care how much it costs to get a temporary one to slide in and slide out. but it's worth it. Having that layer, that division, is worth it. Now, bulletproof as well. It's worth it. Your health is worth it. Here you go trying to take an honest job, honest living, 54-year-old woman, and she's dead off of a jackass. The fuck is wrong with you people? Who the fuck raised you bitches? Sometimes I be thinking the fucking parents need to go down with some of you bitches too. Like, you knew what the fuck come out your camp. You know what's going on here. So let's get into this. Crazy. So
And thank you for joining us. I'm Devin Bartolotto.
And I'm Sharice Gibson. Today, the Jefferson Parish Sheriff announced an arrest of an employee of New Orleans Police Department.
She was also an Uber driver who had no idea she was being targeted by a man who intended to kill anyone who responded to his request for a ride. Meg Ferris has been following all of today's new developments and joins us live now. Meg, this is such a tragic story.
Well, I want to read to you a tweet by Wendell Pierce. It says, Yolanda Dillon, my church member for decades, a woman with a heart of gold and a deep love of God, was murdered yesterday. The murderous violence of New Orleans and this country has come even closer to me personally. We are in crisis.
You can't just go take nobody's life. Somebody who not doing you nothing, just take their life. That's my only child. I don't have no daughter. When your child leave in the morning, you expect to see him come back,
Edna Dillon is living with cancer. Her only child, Yolanda Dillon, was everything to her.
She took very good care. She made my groceries and cooked and bought everything, she paid all my bills and things. So he just left me with nobody,
Yolanda was 54, a breast cancer survivor. She lived with her mom and was one step away from getting her PhD in sociology. She was driving Uber to make extra money for tuition costs and all the Christmas gifts for family and church children. She was on an Uber run, and JP Sheriff Lapinto says she picked up 29-year-old Brandon Jacobs and dropped him off at the Travel Lodge in Harvey around 3 o'clock Thursday. As they pulled in, he just stabbed her from the back. You see him walk away. The next person goes to get in the Uber and sees the crime and runs back in for help.
When we asked him specifically, how did you pick her? His response was, I didn't pick her, Uber picked her. Meaning that she was the random person that picked him up that day.
Deputies arrested Jacobs of Harvey. He is charged with second-degree murder. The sheriff says there is a mental health aspect to this case.
We actually videotaped the incident, the aftermath of the incident, posted it on social media. We had to work with Facebook last night to get that removed this morning.
For 10 years, Yolanda worked as a fiscal budget analyst at NOPD. Chief Ferguson describes her as quiet, humble, and always positive.
Truly an extremely lovely person. The team loved her. As I said, we really had to deal with some emotions this morning with our staff.
Now a mother wonders how she's going to go on.
He took my only child.
Talking about mental. Fuck that. He wasn't mental enough to get an Uber account and order a fucking Uber. I hate when they start saying that there's a mental health component. He wasn't mental health enough to upload that shit. He knew how to download it and upload it and post it. The fuck? No. Don't treat him like a mental health. Don't start that. I hate when they start putting those fucking pleas out. Police. You don't do that shit when it's another fucking race. Don't put that shit on him. It was a mental health. No, that nigga committed a fucking crime. He needs to go to jail and do every fucking hour, minute of his time and get his ass beat daily in that jail. That woman is a cancer survivor. She only had one daughter out there they both trying to make it. It reminds me of my auntie and her mother. Thank God that's not that kind of situation, but my auntie took care of her mother. She lived in the house with us until my auntie mother passed away. Lord forbid somebody do that shit. I can only understand the pain that mother feels. That is senseless. Now she has no one, and she's sitting there trying to figure out how she gonna. Now I'm sure somebody from the church gonna come through, but what the fuck? And Uber, baby, if she had it in her, I would sue y'all bitches. I would be on y'all. I hope somebody in that church around her, Lord of my just my mental, that just want to just like go get justice for you. Now, if anybody cares so in their heart, they do have a GoFundMe going for this woman to help raise some money for her, help support the mother of Yolanda Dillon. The goal is $20,000. So far, 16,755. We gifted $100 last night from the channel because I was just so deeply impacted by this story. Like, I could only fucking imagine, you asshole. And then y'all want to go here and say there's a mental health. The fuck out of here. Ain't no mental health. That nigga had more enough ability to schedule the fucking Uber. That to me, download the fucking app to use his phone. What mental health you think? Oh, he just no. Fuck all of that shit. I don't want to hear that unless his defense attorney says that. What are y'all out here as prosecutors working on the prosecution side saying that it's mental health? You should have just said he displayed signs of extremism or something, or excessive something else. But don't give me that shit. Let this man rot in hell. Took that woman only child from her, and she only 54 years old. The fuck was you doing? So sad, y'all. It's going down. He a demon. Just sick. Prayers to the mother. Second degree. His ass should be charged with first degree. Clearly it was planned. Up under the jail. Baby. Good morning. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Shantae. Hey, boo. Hey, babes. And also another thing too is that I'm sure the police department, given that this was one of their own, would want to push this to the furthest extent of law. So I also was paying attention to that too. Like, how much do you all care about this case? So I'm gonna pay attention. It's in New Orleans, New Orleans Police Department. 54-year-old woman. She gives me the impression that she was a sweetheart just trying to take care of her mother, and then an asshole decides that he randomly picks her. It's almost like he wanted to, and then watching on the video as he runs away cowardly back to his room, and the woman gets, and she just jumps. Thank God he didn't go to stabbing her fucking ass too. You see how crazy? And my thing is, if y'all gonna plead mental health, do you have other situations that y'all, because normally y'all put this man got mental health, you start listening back in 2017, he was arrested for this. Can we hear some of that shit? Can we hear his rap sheet before you start saying mental health? Because if it ain't nothing on his rap sheet that plead mental health, don't give me that shit now. Fuck wrong with y'all. I'm sick of this. That's why I didn't put it in mental health category. Shit was very much so premeditated. Good morning, Cali Poppin. It should be first degree murder, period. And way past that. That poor old lady has nobody to take care of her anymore. Jernay, exactly. He playing that. Let me drop this link. This is the GoFundMe, y'all. Just even if you want to just go read the biography, it's a little sad as well. Nobody should be going through that. And shout out to her mother. My condolences to that woman. My deep condolences to that woman. All right, y'all. Y'all still rocking. We still rocking and rolling. We still rocking and rolling. All right. Let's get into another one. So, Krystal Anderson. Now, this story right here is so fucking crazy because it reminds me of Shanquilla. Only certain parts of it, the Shanquilla Robinson story. So you have this woman, Krystal Anderson. She went missing back in August 20th of this year. She went missing. And at the time, they had arrested her boyfriend. They didn't arrest anybody for the murder, but at the time in August 20th, her mother had began receiving messages from the son of her boyfriend. The son of her boyfriend had been sending her mother messages basically saying like, hey, it's a sad, I'm so sorry that you hear what's going on. Keep me posted on any details. If you need anything, hit me up. Now, what that reminds you of when Kai Khalil took his ass over to Shanquilla mom's house talking about some, hey, y'all, knowing all the fucking details. Well, the son did the same thing in this story. So at this point, between August 20th and when he was arrested, his father was arrested December 10th. She didn't know anything. She thought her daughter was missing. Now, she expected foul play, but she didn't know who. Then the boyfriend didn't really corroborate or talk to her. He came by one time and he stopped coming by. And so police started investigating what's going on. Well, after all of this time and the son still text messenger her, he then, back in late November, he started texting her like, I think it was my dad, because people have been telling me things about my dad and I really think it was him. Whoa. So all of a sudden now you flip the script on your dad. So she turns him over to the police like, wait a minute. So this is where it got me. The police then decides that, okay, now we're going to look further in the son and father. So they dig further in the son and father. Now here's the son and father. You can tell who's the oldest and youngest clearly. Look at the face, honey. Please. You can tell. Whatever. And so come to find out, the father had got into an argument, him and Krystal Anderson got into an argument back on August 20th. He killed her, put her in the trunk. This is all allegedly. Killed her. Witnesses say they saw him put her in the trunk. And the son then, with the father, go take the car, set the car on fire. They later find her car set on fire. And that's when the son starts breaking in the story saying it's his father. Now, the father was arrested back on December 10th. And now the son, now we're here at the part of the story where the son is here. But everyone is saying, how could it take them this long to have figured out that it was the boyfriend who did this? Given the fact that the last person they always say go to the last person you've seen him with. The last person she was saw with was with the boyfriend. So check this story out. It's so sad. People are always, I love my home in New Orleans, but it's no way you can prosper here. Child, nobody to take care of her bills anymore. Say what? Yes. I cannot wait for the official details of the Shanquella case to come to light. Her death was so uncalled for. Baby. Oh my God. So let me give y'all this. Let me play this clip for this story for y'all. Shout out to the crew. I hope y'all hit that like button. Here we go.
It's been a long road for the family of missing Wagner mother Krystal Anderson. Many of you have been following this tragic story since we reported her disappearance back in August. Now investigators in Aiken believe she is dead.
She was last seen August the 20th in Wagner, South Carolina. Her family reporting her missing 3 days later. About a week later, her boyfriend's car was found burned in Newberry County.
Almost a month later, her boyfriend Tony Berry was arrested in West Columbia, and he is now charged with her murder in addition to kidnapping charges. And just yesterday, his son Darius was arrested and charged as an accomplice to murder after the fact.
News 12's Hallie Turner has been following this investigation since August and joins us now live from the Aiken County Jail. Hallie.
Well, since all of this started, Krystal's sister has been leaning on family members like Darius Berry for any leads on where Krystal may be. But she never imagined he may be connected to it all.
And I'm sitting here like, okay, well, this sounds like he really is innocent. And then a day later, I find out that he's arrested and tied into it, which my gut told me from the beginning.
She's referring to these messages sent by Darius Berry. I'm sorry about the news, but I'm glad y'all are getting closer to closure and justice. Keep your head up and holding the family. I'm sorry again. He sent that December 13th, the day his father would be charged with Krystal's murder. When deputies arrested Darius the next day for accessory after the fact of felony murder, she was speechless.
Completely shocked because, like I said, the day that Tony received the murder charge, he inboxed me and was just telling me that, his prayers was with me. He hoped my family gets the closure that they deserve.
She's been receiving messages from Darius since Krystal disappeared.
He constantly tried to keep in contact with me in regards to the 7-year-old, which is his sister, Serenity.
Darius had theories of Krystal's whereabouts, how his father allegedly harmed her, the reason behind the burned car, where her body may be.
He started realizing the person that his father really was. He started believing the things that people were saying that his father has done to other victims.
Shadira says she wanted to believe he was sincere.
Started being sincere. That's what I thought. And it turned out that I was misled the whole time by him.
Now, the Aiken County Sheriff's Office does confirm that they held a joint search with Newberry Police in Newberry County and with cadaver dogs in search for Krystal's body, but they cannot release the location. They do tell me that all evidence and leads throughout this ongoing investigation have led up to where they've searched. And as the search continues for Krystal's body, we'll keep you updated.
Now, now, ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? The son. Now, I saw somebody put here, what, Shantae, shout out to Shantae. What up with murderous parents wanting to include their children in their fuck shit? Why would you want to have your child wrapped up in this shit? Then got him sitting here texting her theories and what's up and all this shit along the way, fucking with her mental. And come to find out you had something to do with that. What's wrong with your soul? What's wrong with these people fucking souls? That's what, like, what the fuck is wrong with people's souls? And, shout out to the mom, for being able to come forward with some of this stuff. But, ma'am, that would have been my day one fucking thing. This nigga. It would have been my day one thing. And he trying to ask about the child and all this stuff. And, we sit here trying to figure out what's going on with my daughter. That would have been my first thing. But, not everybody think like that. And in the moment, you're not trying to think that it's those people. Rest in peace to Krystal Anderson. He ended up kidnapping her, putting her in the trunk of the car, setting the car on fire. The son did. And then now the dogs is leading to an undisclosed location where they may think cadaver dogs, where they may think there's a possible body. Shit is fucking sad. Shit is sad. Rest in peace, lady, young woman. And these two, I think they need to be in a cell next to each other, and they need to hear each other get beat the fuck up. The dad should hear his son getting punched in the face, and the son should hear his dad getting knocked the fuck out. Just whomp. Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right. No, on some real shit. I really do. I think they need to hear each other suffer and struggle so they can really understand what the fuck they did. It made no sense at all. To be accomplices in a murder, a father and a son. And it's not even, it's nothing to do with the fucking son. Some bullshit. Completely. Child locked them both up. Completely. Locked them both up. This isn't far from Augusta. I have family there. Sidebar, Pittsburgh Steeler great Franco Harris passed today. Oh my God, from what? Was it I posted on, if I'll post some news on the wall. Rest in peace. What up with murder? Yeah. Oh my God. Wow, that's some evil shit. I wonder what made him come forward. His conscience must have been eating him up. I think that, and he knew his dad was about to get indicted, get charged. What is going on in these people's heads? When did she begin dating this man? How old was she? I'm struggling to understand a lot of facts in this case. Well, you and me both. We do know that she is 20. She's 21 years old. She was 21 years old. The man was the guy was 42. Who knows how they got together or when they got together? But he was the father of her child, her 7-year-old son, by the way. So let's say she's 22. It says she's 22, 7. So she had been with him for a while. The son was 7 years old. It's one of those, and he must have, if he's 45, he must have been in his late 30s when they got together. So it must have been one of them situations where a younger girl gets with an older guy. And I'm very familiar with that because that was a lot what goes on in my family. And clearly, if he did this, there must have been some abuse going on in this relationship. I just hate to point to that, but all of the theories lead to that. I mean, seriously. Demon souls. Honestly, I have to come that boy neck. Like, was he reaching out because he genuinely felt bad, or was he keeping tabs on the case? And that was his little sister's mom. Yes. That's the weird shit of it all. It's like, wow. Straight up, shaking my head. See, there were red flags all over to the place. Yes, rest in peace to this woman. Rest in peace to Krystal Anderson. Say her motherfucking name, Krystal Anderson. Let these niggas get beat both side by side in the jail. All right, y'all. Crew, y'all been rocking. It's an hour and 30 minutes. I got one last story for y'all. This is the saddest story of them all, and it's currently going on as of 6 hours ago. is coming to us out of Ohio. And this is a story where we got to take a lesson out of it. I say this shit time and time again. You do not walk away from your car with it running with children in it. You don't. I don't give a fuck. Don't do that shit. At least take the keys out of the car and lock the doors. You can't step into no store with your car running with your babies in the car and think it's safe, especially at no motherfucking nighttime. You got to be out your mind. So we got right now going on in Ohio, Columbus. We have these family of a missing 5-month-old. They're twins. There was 2 twins actually missing, Kasan and Kyer Thomas. They were abducted 9:45 p.m. on Monday. Okay. Now, let me give you the details of this. So on Monday night, this woman's going in the store, left her car running. Well, this other crazy bitch, we're gonna call her that, a crazy bitch. Thank you. Y'all be doing too much. Thank you. Crazy bitch. We're gonna call her a crazy bitch. She's a crazy bitch. She jumped in a car, drove off with the car. The woman calls the police. The police then goes out to investigate what goes on. The woman later who took the car disposes of one of the twins on the side of the road, and they're able to retrieve that twin. To this day, the other boy has not been found. Not been found at all. Now, here's the details of the story. So here's the time. So, here's what everybody's pissed off about. So this happened at 9:45 p.m. at night. Police were called at 10:16 p.m. They didn't issue an Amber Alert until 1:45 a.m. At that point, that's when all hands were on deck and they were able to locate the first child. People are pissed off because they didn't even notify the chief of the police, because when shit like this happens, you notify the head of your police chief super division. They didn't notify them until the next fucking day. The police chief said, I would have had not only an Amber Alert, bitch, I would have sent the whole fucking division, us, state, everyone out at 10 o'clock. She said she's already out here like, I'm sorry, I'm taking blame. It's our fault because we could have been on this. Now we don't know where the baby's at. So check out this timeline before I show y'all the clip. Shout out to the crew. I hope y'all hit the like button on y'all way in. Give me some love, a little hug, tap. So, of course, 9:52 p.m., police arrive on scene. 10:17 p.m., 50 officers take part in a helicopter search. 10:30 p.m., they do a highway patrol search. But it wasn't until 1:37 a.m. when they declared a statewide Amber Alert. Around 4:15 a.m., police receive a call that one of the twins were found. Do you see that? 1:37 a.m., Amber Alert released. 3 hours later, they find one of the babies at the airport. Why? Because Amber Alert also text all of your borders, your airports. See, they were thinking highway and all that shit. And so the family's pissed. They're like, we could have been on this. Imagine if we'd have locked this down earlier. We'd have saw her in the airport coming in because we had an Amber Alert going on. So 5:47 a.m., they informed the media that the Kyer was found safe. 6 a.m., police detectives leave for Dayton to continue the investigation. At 11:15 a.m., that's when they inform the chief, the police department, that they have a possible video of the suspect. Now I'm gonna show you a clip, but here's the statement from the police. They said that the two agencies were communicating to determine which type of alert would be issued, whether it was going to be an Amber Alert or a missing endangered child alert. Excuse me? You, in this moment of crisis, the agencies were trying to figure out whether they were doing an Amber Alert or a missing endangered child alert. Bitch, both. How about we do both? The fuck? Proceeds to say and whether the statewide alert met the criteria. A decision was made at 12:25 a.m., but notifications were not sent to the public until more than an hour later. The Deputy Chief Smith said the department would have liked to have the alert out earlier, but officers did the best they could as they were dealing with a chaotic scene. Lawsuit. Second statement. Not only did both agencies let precious time slip away, but Columbus Police Chief Elaine Bryant said she did not know about the abduction until the next fucking day. Y'all get into this clip. You see what I'm saying? Now we got the other twin just out there because the failing of a police procedure. We got to decide which one. Why not both? It's a chaotic scene. Y'all don't. Why don't, just to be safe, let's just launch both. Why not pull all your resources? But we're here now. I bet you moving forward, they learn their lesson. Check this shit out. Fucking crazy.
Remains in effect for a missing baby who's been gone more than 24 hours. Police say a homeless woman took his mother's car with him and his two brothers inside.
One of them has been found, was found dozens of miles away. Now our Valerie Lyons joins us live. Valerie, this took police hours to get the Amber Alert out. So what was the delay?
Evan, Columbus police say they tried to get an Amber Alert out twice before State Highway Patrol finally did. CPD requested one around 11:45 and again after midnight. It finally hit your phone around 1:30. Now, police say part of the problem is that car didn't have a license plate.
Bringing him home safe is our #1 priority.
Statewide police continue to search for a missing 5-month-old after they say this woman took off with him and his brother in a stolen car. It happened Monday night in Columbus. At 9:45, police say while the mother was on a DoorDash run, she left her car running with her 2 infant sons in the back seat. Moments later, a homeless woman, now identified as 24-year-old Nala Jackson, left the store, jumped in the car, and drove off.
Someone stole my car, my baby.
Did you see which way they went?
I didn't see it. It was a black car. I didn't see nothing.
At 10:17, the search began, police looking for a 2010 black Honda Accord. But 4 hours passed until an Amber Alert was issued just after 1:30 Tuesday morning. Then at 4:15, one of the twins, Kyair Thomas, was found 71 miles away, abandoned at the Dayton International Airport.
When I pulled into the lot, I met another family here. We're all unloading our bags, and there's a baby in a baby car carrier sitting in the parking lot by itself.
Kassan, however, was nowhere to be found. That uncertainty drowning any relief for his family.
Why not just ditch the car? Why take the babies? Why drop off one baby at an airport at night, 18-degree weather, leave him in the cold outside to die? Why? I don't know. I don't know. We need him. His brother is not complete without him.
But Columbus police say they have leads. At some point, Jackson and the stolen Honda were caught on video at a gas station in the Dayton suburb of Huber Heights. It was there, police say, she asked an employee for money. Police say Jackson does have a criminal record with a history of child endangerment. They believe 5-month-old Kassan is in danger.
This is a cry for help. We are asking for the community to come forward and help us locate this child.
And police say Jackson has connections to the Dayton area, but could be anywhere. So the plea remains tonight. If you see her, Kassan, or a black Honda with a missing front bumper, temporary tags, and a West Side City Toys bumper sticker, call 911.
Baby. Are you fucking kidding me? First of all, why are you doing a DoorDash run with your twin infant babies? We're not even talking about years old. Your baby's in the back seat of a fucking car. Why are we doing that? We talking about 5-month-old twins sitting in the back seat of your car. That makes no fucking sense to me. And then what's up with the whole time delay? Did it take you 30 minutes to pick the food up from the restaurant because it was a wait time? Why not sit in your car that time? You mean to tell me you went in there waiting on food that long to come back and find your car missing with your babies in it? Like, we got to talk about it, man. I guarantee you, anybody who around you will learn their lesson from this. Oh, hell no, I ain't doing that shit. Hell no, you don't. The fuck? And then let's move on to the fact that you got police agencies literally bartering on which agency in a chaotic time of crisis, which one we're going to use. Are we there now? Like, where's the training? What do you mean? Call the chief and have her figure it out. What are we going to do? Oh, y'all didn't call her until the next day? Okay. Who fault is that? There's negligence all around. I hope that grandmother and that mother take put some slam down on this law authorities, because all roads lead to us tragically finding an ending for this child. I mean, one has been dropped off, and the other one is just what? She's still in a baby? Is she trying to take a baby to raise her own child? Lord, what the fuck is going on with people? This shit is insane to me. Precious children. Kassan is just out there now. Khair has been retrieved. Okay, everybody in the story needs their wrist slapped. Just pure carelessness all across the board. All this trafficking going on, I got tears in my eyes. I'm sorry, Tracy. I'm sorry. I apologize. I definitely wanted to leave on this story and share with y'all. Like, if you're doing DoorDash, if you're doing Uber, if you saw all of that stuff earlier today, you got to understand that there's some risks involved in this shit, especially if you including your children. I mean, to me, that was the craziest part. Why are you door dashing with the babies though? Leaving the car running with the babies. This is insane. Dang, that is horrible. Yo, that homeless woman needs her entire life beat. She really do. She really do. And it's sad because clearly there in some way of her mind, she was convicted that she could take this car with these babies and get away with it. Like there was no care withal. Yeah, now this case to me will plead a little bit of mental insanity. Yes. The man getting in the Uber just stabbing? No. I don't want to hear that bullshit. This to me reeks. We have minors involved. One has been dropped off. The other is where? What the fuck is wrong with you, bitch? That one, no one's been killed yet in that one, because I'll be quick to say charge this bitch. Premeditated all the way around. She probably sold that baby. Me too. Suspect. What? It's hard for me to look past the mother. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. And you can't look past the mother. Sticks girl. 4 hours. Yes. You can't even call this shit an oversight. This was just negligence and piss poor policing with a dollop of racist behavior right on top. Absolutely. Wow. The homeless woman knows where the baby is. If not, yeah, she does. That's what I picked up on too. 30 minutes. That's what I said. Why were the police called 30 minutes later? Is this an abduction? Because it seems like they left the babies to be taken. That's what I'm saying. You brought them during endangered children, missing and endangered, or it's an Amber Alert. To me, what the fuck is the difference? Honestly, you might as well put the pressure on because you don't know. Why not? Mom should have said her white pawpaw was in the car too. That would have got results quicker. It probably would have. Or I was at, one of my clients' house, put them both out. The fuck? That's what I'm saying. They need to sue the fuck out of the police department, period. Ball was dropped. Mom should be charged with negligence too, period. Point blank. Point blank. How can the mother sell any legal repercussions when she started the domino effect? Period. It started with you. I'm crying too. I have my baby in a coma as we speak, although he is grown. I would never leave my baby in a car, period. Ox City 805 Queen, I'm sorry. And I hope everything turns out well. I really do. This says mental illness, point blank. Yes, it does, Tracy. I think she sold that baby too. It makes no sense. It truly doesn't make no sense. And oh my God. So it's still developing. That story as of 6 hours ago. No more information has come. The suspected kidnapper, her name is Nala Jackson, 24 years old. They say she has some connections to the Dayton, Ohio area. So, they're going to be looking that way. They tracked down the car based on the VIN number, which they said also took time. So I'm going to stay tuned to this story. They're saying anyone with any information is asked to call 911. Kassan, we hope you are alive, baby. I really do hope you're alive. This is a sad story for the twin, for them to even have to go through. I know they probably wouldn't remember something being 5 months old, but imagine that baby sitting outside in that parking lot cold. God forbid how long. Yeah, I do think, and y'all gonna be mad at me for this, but I do think Child Protective Services do need to take the twin that came back at least out of her care for right now. I definitely do. I think this needs to be a hard lesson. A hard lesson. I'm sorry. A hard fucking lesson. Yeah, you ain't got a babysitter and you got a DoorDash it, but don't do that shit at night. at 9:45 p.m. at night, you got 5-month-old sitting in the back for 30 minutes. I can't even do that with Eli. Ain't no running in the store. I can't park my car and say I'm about to go in the grocery store and think I'm running in for 10 minutes. It don't turn into 10 minutes. I don't know what the lines look like. It's just cold outside. I turn right around. I can't wait this long. Let me go. Are you crazy? And you left your car running? Like, girl, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes, it's dangerous out here. So, crew, that was all I wanted to bring to y'all. That was local news. It was a little deep dive around the United States of America. I mean, but I want to keep y'all updated. I mean, a lot of these stories is something that we all can take something from. Absolutely, just to rehash what we went through. We talked about the reparations and specifically how I feel Boston's reparation task force seems to be like one progressive way to move forward. Hit the replay on that. I did like 30 minutes on it. I didn't mean to go that long, but I'm convicted that they have chosen the right pathway by looking at what other people have done either correctly or wrong. For example, saying that you want everybody to get reparations. Well, that's cool, but how you going to fund everybody? So take a look at that. We talked about how this mother decided to cut her daughter's hair, and some of us felt like it was fake, but even if it was for educational purposes, I think it went overboard. Sometimes you can take the lesson too fucking far, and I think that's a way. We talked about this mother who was cyberbullying her daughter, and they call it the cyber Munchausen by proxy syndrome, where it forces your child to need you emotionally. Oh, mom, I'm sorry, mom. Fucked up. We talked about this Florida teen who beat and stabbed his own mom with a frying pan until the handle broke because she wanted him to clean his room. Now, for me, that was something that was evolved. Like that was evolved. He was convicted in harming his mom. That wasn't something overnight, which leads me to believe that it was a pattern going on in that household, and the mom couldn't get her hands around it until it ballooned to this point. So, yeah, we talked about that. We went into Khalil Brister, this woman who had some mental health issues, found dead with her daughter in a lake. Very sad story. Very, very sad story. And I stay tuned to this story because I think what we'll find is that the police didn't act as soon as they should have. Um, Sad story. 2 young babies, 2 lines of generations taken. And thank you for the Cash App. Thank you. I appreciate you too. Thank you, boo. Thank you. Sticks girl. Thank you. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Merry Christmas to y'all. Uber driver fatally stabbed. This story touched me because it really touched me. The Uber driver who fatally stabbed a woman and she was only taking care of her mom, the only child. The shit just resonated with me so much. If y'all want to go support Uber, her GoFundMe is here. Y'all got to get into that story. Oh my God, that touched me. Then we talked about Krystal Anderson, where the son and father both were involved in her murder to the point where they were sending messages. The son was sending comforting messages to the mother up until a point where then he turned on his own father and said, "Yeah, I can see how he's done it." Then the father was arrested. Then 2 days later, he was arrested. So it leaves the mother like, fuck. And then we ended on missing twins. Sad story. We're gonna stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned. If anybody hear anything, if you're in Ohio about Kassan being found or some new leads, drop a comment under this video or something, because I want to be on this story. I want to know what happens, because there were so many people at fault here, from the mother to the police not notifying the proper authorities and not trying to figure out what should we do. Didn't y'all learn from all these other cases? So I'll stay tuned to that. And I want to say thank you to you all for being here this morning. Here we go with the trolling. Why you want to troll over here? I'm just saying. Hell to the no. Have a good day. You too. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. Merry Christmas, Tracy. This was so sad. Trying to go to school. these children are being exposed to way too much violence and not being heavily exposed to things like consequences and actual reality. This ain't a video game. You don't get to hit reset. Okay. Thank you, Six Girls. A happy holidays to you and happy holidays to y'all. And I'll be back Friday. I may pop up tomorrow. Who knows? But I'll be back Friday for our hot topics and local news. And for you to guess which word of the week I chose to use. And $100 cash app prize on Friday. Just my way to saying happy holidays. And it don't stop there because our biggest is on $200 on the last Friday of this month before the New Year's. We'll call that the New Year's Eve treat. Go treat yourself before the year. Hopefully, if you're going out, you can get you a little fit. You know, it's $200. It may not be, whatever, but get something or go out somewhere. I just want to say thank you because we've been rocking for a full year this year of complete shows. The fuck? Get out of here. But I love it and I enjoy doing this and I enjoy y'all and shout out to y'all. And I'm gonna be spending Christmas in Baltimore here, home. So I'm gonna probably come live on Christmas Day. I got some packages that I wrapped that I'm gonna open. Shout out to the crew. Thank you. You know who you are. Thank you so much. So much. Because by the way, one of these packages smell extremely good. I'm like, what is this? It smells good. I went yesterday to go get it. And I said, So we're gonna do that. And again, I be loving when I be seeing King Roman news. Shit. But thank you so much. We're gonna do that on Friday. On Christmas Day. We're gonna do Christmas with the crew. So thank you, Alfreda. Thank you, Coco. Thank you, Brick Girl. I appreciate y'all coming through always. Sticks Girl, Kings Mina, Shantae, big up yourself. Kwam, big up yourself. Hey, Alfredo. Hey, everybody, take care of yourselves. As we see, it's a lot of shit going on in the world. I'm keeping you abreast. And stay tuned to Reparations. You got a little leg up. You know a little bit of something. I ain't give you everything, but I gave you some leg room to know what looks right, what doesn't look right, and where people are moving. And just, if you're doing Uber, be careful. Put a divider up. You know what you should also do? Get an Uber cam in the back and in the front so you can see shit. You know what I'm saying? Turn your location on. If you're doing DoorDash, don't have your 5-month-old babies out there. If you can't find a babysitter, I promise you, it's worth risking not doing that DoorDash for that period of time and just being with your children until they probably sleep at a good, comfortable time and sneaking out the house with a baby cam and monitoring them. That's safer to me than you having them in a car where you got to go in and out and leave them in the back. I'm just being honest with you. I don't know what anybody's circumstances is. Maybe you might need some money for Christmas and stuff like that, but now you don't have one of your sons. Think about it. And to the crew, shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Hit that like button if you haven't hit the like button. And until next time, deuces. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for being here this morning.
Let's go. Oh, let's start this show. King Roman News gonna come right through, gonna give you that news just like you know he can do. Hot topics in your face, baby. King Roman knows his place, baby. King Roman News.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
6:30 a.m. Eastern time, baby. He's gonna come right on time with the news just for you. Celebrity news, politics, and local news just for you. King Roman News. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yeah. Let's go, let's go. Hey, let's start this show. King Roman News, coming just for you. King Roman News, coming just for you. 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. King Roman News, King Roman News. Let's go, let's go.